Hello everybody, Handy863 here. I hope you're all doing well. And the time has finally come for us to get our hands on the Nintendo Switch 2. Now I know there's probably going to be about thousands, maybe tens of thousands of unboxings of this console on YouTube already. I actually had a bit of a dilemma getting my hands on one of these. I originally went to pre-order it, but I kind of went into the pre-orders a little bit late. Without the help of my friend Minnie, I was able to get this as a pre-order from Argos. However, for whatever reason, I couldn't order to pick up. I don't know if that was just an Argos thing in general or it just wasn't available in my area for local pickup. I've had to witness a lot of my friends, including in America as well, get their hands on this before me, but as I was making lunch, it finally came through the door. I burnt lunch, but I think it was worth it. And so yeah, now we've got to take a look at this and see what it's like compared to the original Switch. I do, just in case, also have the original Switch box so that we can compare. This is for my Nintendo Switch that I also got on pre-order on day one of the Switch's release, so it's going to be quite cool to see how things compare. I did also think of bringing my OG Switch downstairs from my current setup so that I can compare it to this new console as well, but I just remembered that now after I've already started the recording and I do not have it to hand. So without further ado, let's see what is inside the box. So I got the Mario Kart World bundle. We have some pretty standard information there. I don't know if you can see it. I might have to refocus on the camera. This was the side that I first saw when it came out of the box, and I think this is just the normal design. Actually no, they're kind of, yeah, they're about the same. I remember the special edition for like Mario Kart 8 Wii U's and stuff would have a bit more artwork to it than this. This is quite basic. And then on this side, some warning in French there. I do not know what that says, but there's just some more health and safety stuff on the side here as well. And then on the bottom, it's very similar. I don't want to show all the sides with the barcodes and stuff on, just in case. And then we just have Nintendo from the top as well. So I think I'm going to try opening it on this side. Let's see how we can cut into that. I've got some trusty scissors on the side over here. So please excuse my terrible way of opening this, although this is a lot easier to get into than the actual box that it came in. Obviously I didn't think to show that on screen because that has all my postal information and stuff on. Okay. So there's a box inside of the box, which I can't get a hold of. Hold on. Right, so we've got another box inside. This now is quite similar to the OG Switch design. As a matter of fact, actually, the screen on the back here is quite similar to that. It might actually be, it's kind of comparable. It just opens at the bottom, and I think it opens from the top here, look. Wow, okay. That's kind of cool. It's kind of going with that sort of slant there. I'm guessing that's how the Joy-Cons attach. So, just moving away again. By comparison, when you opened up the Switch 2 box, the Switch was just there in this grid like this. So it's, I guess, following the same design. Let's see. There's the console itself. It's definitely a lot bigger. I think I'll prefer playing with that instead. And then we have the Joy-Cons. Okay, apologies if there was an abrupt cut there. Hopefully I can make it look okay in editing, but basically this camera, the SD card ran out of memory. So let's carry on. So I was just talking about the power adapter. It has this USB-C to C cable, and it goes into this quite hefty power brick right there. So carrying on, we have This, I believe, is the thing that the Joy-Cons slot into. So it would go either side of this. I never actually used mine for the OG Switch. I don't actually know where it is. I think I connected to it once just to see how it would look. But this feels a bit too, like, tight together. But maybe because this is slightly larger, it might feel a bit more comfortable. I have yet to find out. The downside is, though, is that on the old one there wasn't really a way to keep them charged while it was in this configuration, and I don't think that is the case again. I think it's just literally a holder, whereas with the Pro controller you can just like hook it up and you can then have it charge while you're playing. And then last but not least, we have the dock itself. I'm going to move this out of the way. So this is the thing that I really wanted to see the most, because the original Switch dock felt very, very cheap, and I felt very paranoid every time I wanted to take it out into the world, or even like when I was traveling. So I took it with me when I went to America and Berlin, and the entire time I like had it wrapped up in bubble wrap and everything just to try and keep it safe. So I'm hoping that there is a bit of an improvement with the design of this one. You can see here the two USB ports on the side. It's actually quite funny. I didn't notice until like several months after I had the original Switch that there were USB ports on the side. I thought the only place for the USBs was in the compartment at the back, which there's a lot more room now. It actually just completely comes off. Does it not like hinge anymore? So in the back, we've got an Ethernet, so you can plug the Ethernet straight in there. HDMI out and AC adapter, all the same as before, but no extra USB, which is interesting. So actually, we only have 2 ports on the side, which is going to be annoying if you wanted to play Smash Ultimate. Like, you can really only connect your GameCube controllers like that, and then that's it. But I think that's what most people would want for that. Let's actually take a look at the Joy-Cons next, shall we? So this is the left Joy-Con. Feels exactly like a Joy-Con, but slightly larger. I think having these buttons be much bigger and more tactile like this is much better as well. Ooh. Okay, I don't like the shoulder button on there. That feels a bit odd. It's actually reduced tactility on the shoulder buttons, which is kind of interesting. We've got an extra button here. Oh, that's the locking mechanism. So you can see there's a little point. So when I hold that down, there's a little point that just comes out there. That's kind of cool. Right. And this would be the corresponding strap for that. So does that just click on like this, or I think, yeah, it goes on from the bottom to the top. There was a little compartment at the top there that, yeah, there we go. So there's like a, I can't tell where the camera is because it's the other way around. When I press the button down, there's another bit that comes up on the top just there. Press the button down. I guess it's like a locking mechanism of some kind. That's cool. Same with the right. All of these feel basically the same. There's now the extra C button, which I think is for the cooling feature if you wanted that. I didn't get the camera or anything, and I don't really see people that want to play this moving away from things like Discord. Shoulder buttons also feel a bit unusual, which I don't like. Okay. And then the same release mechanism. So slip it on from the bottom, on like that. And there we are. Pretty nice. These actually feel much better than the original Joy-Cons, and I can definitely feel gaming with these is going to be so much better. I wish this was moved over a little bit, because that feels quite squished over, especially this as well now. You have effectively like a third of the controller in the way of moving your hand like this. So it's going to be a bit awkward. Almost similar like this, but I don't think it's a big difference when it comes to just pressing the buttons on this side. So now I guess the console itself. Look at that. I'm already going to get my dirty fingerprints on it, I'm sure. So we've got more vents down here. This, oh, this is the back panel. Yeah, so this whole bit here is the way you stand it up now, but I don't know how to get that out from there. The kickstand, do I just literally, oh, it's like a stiff piece of metal. It doesn't have like a click or anything, you just literally pull it out and it's sort of like, yeah, there you go. So it just fixes like that, because then you can push against it and have it in a different position if you wanted to. You could have it right like up here as well. That's sturdier. I don't know if I like that or not compared to the old one, but the old one was literally like a strip on the side, and that was definitely not that good. There's the port for the cards. Can I actually open it? I was about to open it the wrong way. Oh, that's weird. That's how that's come out now. So it goes in like that. That's going to be annoying. The headphone jack's right here. I imagine this will have Bluetooth again. And then a USB-C port on the top. And the volume control, the power button. So I believe this will just like go on. Oh! It's magnetic. It just goes straight in. It's literally just like... And there we go. There is the Nintendo Switch 2. Let's actually see if it will turn on. If it's got any power, or do I need to power it first? No, it turns on. Wow. I don't know if you can hear that well from here. The speakers are really good. Where are they? Are they just at the bottom here? Yeah. They're so good. What the hell? I can hear that, and it's like, it's not even that loud at the moment. Wow, okay. I would set this up now like this, but I'm going to get it hooked up into the dock first, upstairs, and then do it properly. There we go. That's how it sits in the dock at the moment. So there is the Switch 2. This Switch has the capability to run at 4K, which is the standard for most home gaming consoles these days, and it also has higher frame rate capability. Now, the most modern capture card that I had up until this point was the Elgato HD60S Plus, which wasn't actually mine. It technically belongs to my dad, but it stopped working with his computer, so I kind of got a hold of it. And that allows for 4K pass-through. If you do have a 4K console, then it will still allow you to run that console at 4K and then just run the signal through, but it will record it in 1080p. So to save myself a lot of time, considering that we already got a console that can do 4K, it'd be better to record in 4K. I also decided to get a hold of this. Now, unfortunately, this is just the box. I already unboxed this a couple of days ago because I had to see if it worked properly and if it was going to meet my needs. But fortunately, with a bit of editing magic, it is now the 3rd of June where I haven't opened this yet. So this is the AverMedia Live Gamer Ultra S. The S stands for small because I believe there's an Ultra version that is a lot more expensive than this, but at least from what I could tell, it's effectively the same, but I guess in a smaller package. I decided to order this mainly on impulse. I was going to stick with my current capture card. Considering that the Switch 2 has the capability of doing 4K, I wanted to get a capture card that is also capable of doing that, and it also has a higher frame rate option as well. Whether or not I'm actually going to be capable of recording in that quality in my current setup, I do not know. I don't know if my computer is fast enough to deal with that, and my monitor upstairs can only do 1080p at the maximum resolution. It's quite an old screen now, it's probably like 12 years old. But at least the options are now here, and it will also save me time doing some upscaling and stuff in editing as well. So if I can get that to work, it will definitely help out a significant ton. but we shall see whether or not it will. So it's just a bit of tape on this side. Very similar to most of AverMedia's products. I'm quite a big fan of them as they're particularly their software. I've just enjoyed using theirs more of the time than Elgato. There we go. Quite a nice, well, just a very plain box actually. And there's the device itself. So I really can't say for certain if this is going to be the only device that I use for the Switch 2 or not. I imagine if this works well enough, this will become my primary capture card. It's a lot smaller than basically everything else that I have. What I don't like is that the HDMI ports are just on one of the short sides. I would much prefer it if it went along here or here. But there you go, you've got just a basic HDMI in and out, no extra inputs for other peripherals, and then it is USB-C. So that's helpful to know. Let me just go grab the Elgato. So this is the Elgato HD60S Plus. Again, this belongs to my dad, not really to me. It's a very similar capture card, slightly more powerful than the Live Gamer Extreme, but it only has the ability to do 4K pass-through, and then everything it records is only at a maximum resolution of 1080p. And this was the device I was going to use for the Switch 2, but then Neil actually got one of these recently, and I just thought I might as well check this out and see if it works well as well. In comparison, they are relatively similar. The AverMedia is still slightly bigger and it is slightly thicker, but this is a lot lighter. So yeah, that's going to be hopefully a good capture card to use for the Switch 2. And then got some basics inside. Just a standard HDMI cable, which is good. I'm going to need that. I imagine it's only about 1 meter or so long. So that's probably just to go from console into capture card. And then a USB-A, Type A to USB-C cable. I don't know if it's the same with the AverMedia. I know from the other AverMedias that I've used in the past it's been fine, but I don't know if it's the same since they've moved to USB-C. But at least with the Elgato, it doesn't like using any other USB-C cables apart from the ones that come with the capture card itself. I don't know if AverMedia is going to be the same. It's good to have extra, I guess. I think most of the AverMedia manual stuff and getting hold of the software that it uses now come on these QR code cards. That was again the same with the LGX when I first got that. This one has come with a manual as well, which is quite nice. Just probably basic peripherals and things, making sure you've got what you've got in the box, and probably some just basic setup advice. Pretty self-explanatory. This, if I'm not mistaken, if I count all of the other things like my old DVD player that I used to record with as well, this is actually my 8th capture card, which is ridiculous, but yeah, there we are. If you're seeing this part of the video, then I guess I've done my tests and it worked well, and hopefully all of my footage with the Switch 2 will be with this device, but we'll find out whether or not. Again, it depends on whether or not you're seeing this. Anyway, I don't know what the plan is at the moment. Well, I guess I go back to future Sean. And so, there we have it. This is the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, I'm going to go and run upstairs and get this set up and downloading Mario Kart World immediately, because I've been watching other people, particularly Bradley, who's currently streaming this game on Twitch right now. I've been watching people play it all this time while I didn't have the Switch to play it on, and now I'm finally going to be able to join them and play the game for myself and try it out. I will most likely be doing some time trialing, and once I've got accustomed to that game, I will be doing streams of it. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a little bit scuffed, I admit, because I just want to get onto this and just start playing the games. If you're playing on the Switch 2, please let me know, and if you haven't got it yet, then feel free to let me know why that is in the comments. Otherwise, I hope you have a great rest of your day, evening, night, wherever you are in the world, and I shall see you again when I next do so.